Hello everyone, welcome to KK4Z. My name is Scott and I'm going to do a quick video on Begali's CW Machine. This is not an in-depth review, but I made a post on Facebook and a lot of people were having a little bit of trouble or issues trying to figure out how this thing really works. So I want to start out by saying that the machine is hooked up to my radio and it is hooked up to my computer. Just because of the way I have to set this up to show it, I'm just going to show you the computer interface, which mimics what the machine does. So I have the only thing I have hooked up is I have the USB connection to the computer, and that's what's also powering it. I have a set of paddles hooked up. In this case, it's a set of N3ZN ZN Lite 2s, and I have it hooked up only to the key port on my computer. In other words, this does not receive any signals from the radio. It cannot decode CW. I will give a little example here. Okay, as you can see, nothing came across that screen when I had CW going on my computer. This thing cannot decode CW. All right, so why is this a good thing? Well, number one is it can be run like a mill. In other words, you can use a keyboard instead of paddles or keys or bugs, which when you're sitting at home, it's not that much of a big deal. But when you're out in a park and it's cold and you have arthritis in your hands like I do, running a paddle gets a little hard. But, just using these two, I can hunt and peck. So I've got this kind of set up for hunting right now. And so we will take a look at that and how it works. To change the band up there, all I do is I hit the escape key and I type in 20. And then it'll change it to, or it should change it to 20 down here. There it goes. All right. This keyboard is not the best. Now, the other nice thing about this is I can type without sending any Morse code. See? Nothing. All right. However, if I do want to send CW directly from my keyboard, I hit the number lock key on the keypad. This thing uses a full 101 or 104 key keyboard. So I do that, and then you see up there in the corner it says on the air. So now when I type an F, there it is. Now the louder beep came from my radio, but I have the break-in turned off, so I'm not bothering anybody. And now if I want to change that F, it automatically puts in an error for me. But I like to run this thing, in general, I run it off the air, and I let my messages do my work for me. So I have up on my other screen my POTA app running the spots. And let's say I hear, I hear NA4A is on the air. He's on 30 meters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to 30 meters. And this thing, the software lags a little bit. All right, so I'm in 30. And so I'm going to copy his call sign down. Okay, and then I hit the enter key. Now if you look down here, there's his call sign, where he's from, the date time group, 30 meters, CW, and it always defaults to 599, so you don't have to put that in. And so he's working a pile up, and I'm going to wait until it calms down a little bit. So while I'm here, I can put down where he is. Okay, he is in Alabama, so I type in Alabama, and I hit the plus key, and then down here you see Alabama. While I'm also waiting, I can put in his park. And I hit the plus key again. Okay, so now I've got his call sign, what state he's in, what park he's in, and I have a default default RSTs for both of us. So the pileup has died down a little bit, and so I am going to send out my call sign using a memory. Now what it does is when I hit a memory message, it goes into on the air, and I have it set up to where it goes back off the air at the end. So if you look up in this corner, you'll see it go on the air and then off the air again. So let's hear what happens when I do this. Okay, so I sent my call sign, and he replies to me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in FR, which stands for from, and let's say he gives me a 579. And if you look down here, I received a 579 from him. And so now what I'm going to do is I am going to respond to him. Now notice this has paused, and what it's waiting for me to input something, and in this case it's going to be his RST. So I'm going to give him a 569. And then to start this thing again, I hit the decimal key. And notice I go back off the air again, so if I need to make any corrections, I can do that. Now, I haven't saved this yet, but let's say I got his call sign wrong, and it's NA4B. So if I type in NA4B and hit enter, it changes it to NA4B. So I can change it back to NA4A, and it changes it back to NA4A. So you can make corrections instead of having to tab back to a window. You just do that. Now, at the end of the conversation, I'm going to send him what I typically send people at the end of a hunt. Come on, baby. Okay, that did a couple things. The delay was my keyboard. I've got a real cheap keyboard, and you really have to pound it, so I'm going to order another keyboard. But what I did with that is at the end of the exchange, I said 73s, dit. But then what the thing did behind the scenes is it updated the current time to right now, and then it saved it to my log. And now I'm ready for the next contact. So that's just a quick version of what it does, and it saves keystrokes. And you can see much of this information on the CW Machine's LCD screen, but it's only one line at a time. I did it on the computer here just to make it easier to show you what's actually going on with the machine. So, like I said, for activations, I think it's going to be great because you're just keyboarding, and you can also send with your paddles if you have that desire. But I don't. And I also have another memory set up that some activators don't give you a chance to say 73. They go on to the next one. Well, I hit that key, and all it does is set the time and save the log, and I'm not sending anything out. So I hope this answers a couple questions, and hope to hear you all out there.